everybody.
No, actually, I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know what she's doing.
Hi.
I don't know what she's doing.
Hello, it's me.
Okay.
I was one.
Okay. Well, now it's my turn for you guys to listen to me speak.
Sports.
Well, actually, we're going to shake things up a little bit today because there's something that actually is a little bit more relevant right now because as it was a story from yesterday. This is the lovely, actually one of the newer websites like that I actually read or go to at least like twice a week.
What is it?
Her Campus.
Yes,
It's-
I was
okay.
hoping it was.
So it's this website called hercampus.com.
This is lit.
Yeah, it's a great website. It's really about like feminine like empowerment basically.
Yes.
Our roommate Pam actually introduced it to me especially. I'm not sure about you, but I had never heard of it until Pam mentioned it. I think it was like last summer or something like that. Like when we first
I
became
didn't know
like
they were
friends.
having a fashion show thingy, but I was a part of their email list.
Okay.
Them and Refinery 29.
I've heard of Refinery 29, but never read gone
You
to
would
their
like it.
site.
It's just like Her Campus.
Okay. But you guys know me, I don't really get involved in politics or anything, but when it comes time for something that's like a serious issue or that can be a serious issue, I will open my mouth and say something. So obviously we all know that February is Black History Month. And, it's just about like really, I can't even put it towards obviously because it's not my culture, it's not my history per se, that I don't know everything about Black History Month, but obviously you learn a lot about historical Black American figures in our wow, I can't even speak words
history.
today. There we go. I think I said everybody, but you know what? I'm a little tired, guys, so my words are not coming out right. But President Donald Trump, excuse me, had released a statement about Black History Month, and the reason this article is big right now on her campus website is because he, according to their journalist or the female who wrote the article, Catherine Marani, he barely spoke about Black History Month at all, and he kind of like turned it to speak about himself. And this basically what had happened was he acknowledges that like it's time to he says celebrated the life of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. last month on Martin Luther King Jr. Day and everything, and he mentions like other historical African American figures such as Frederick Douglass and Rosa Parks. But what he did wrong in his statement was that he mentioned that a Time magazine reporter had claimed that he removed the statue or the bust of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. He claims it wasn't true, that it was his favorite term, fake news. And this is where the author of this article is frustrated because it was alternative facts. First, we'll get it right.
Oh, I'm ugly.
Get your alternative facts correct.
Alternative.
So this author of the article is upset or was bothered by the fact that it should have been a statement about Black History Month, and he seemed to have turned it towards himself, as he seems to do with many things. Mm-hmm. And this personally bothered me. Like I said, I'm not African American. That's not something that really pertains to me per se, but obviously I do like history, so I do like to learn about the different figures throughout our history, no matter who they are. But this really bothers me personally more because, again, he has his issue or his beef per se with the media, and I don't think he understands what the media does and what we do. And I say we because that will be us, hopefully in 2 years when we graduate from college. But it really bothers me because he claims that all media or all news is fake news, except for like Fox. And it's like, dude, there was a statement, I forgot the exact number, so don't quote me on the number, but let's say if it was like, I think it's like 35 million or something like that, watched his inauguration on CNN, and I think the same exact number, but maybe a few people less or a few people more watched it on Fox. And he said something about congratulating Fox and having such a large number of viewers for his inauguration, and CNN goes, "We had the same number." Like, I'm pretty sure CNN said it, but someone mentioned that CNN had the same exact amount of viewers, and he was like, basically what he said was, congratulations for being the only news outlet that had the like this amount of viewers, whatever, beating out CNN fake news or fake news CNN, and I was just like, what is this?
I love him
What
personally.
is this?
He's so funny.
It's funny because it's so outrageous. Some of the
Fake
things he
news,
says,
alternative facts.
like what some of the things he says is the problem. Like, I'm not, like, for me personally, again, like, I don't get involved in politics.
That's my boy.
I don't really have many opinions. Obviously, it's a very sticky topic, especially right now with this past election and his inauguration and him in general.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with him, the way that what I'm going to say and voice my opinion about is, it's not necessarily what he does. It's the way and what he says about the things that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't make everything about yourself. Like, I understand, like, I even had this conversation in my journalism class the other day, with all my class members and stuff, and
Is it with Bard?
yes, and
Yes.
basically what happened was,
Hey.
one of his administration members had released a statement saying that the media needed to kind of, basically shut their mouths and stop talking, like, take a seat for once. And we're talking right now in class about how the media is basically the fourth estate of the government, and how the media was created
To
watch over the government, exactly, and to get news and get all the information that the government has been dealing with out to the public.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the media is for, especially journalism, like print journalism especially. TV journalism is a little bit different because there's different aspects of it, but print journalism especially, that's what it was created for. So
girl.
So my problem with that is, and I raised my hand in class and I said, I think the administration member's statement is completely outrageous and ridiculous, because you can't tell the media to stop talking.
Right.
First of all,
Which
we
is
have the
never
right.
gonna happen.
The people in general of the country have the right to their own opinion. They have the right to speak their minds, especially the media. The media and journalism, the press,
Freedom of
is
speech
literally
and press.
it's literally in the First Amendment. They have the right to free speech. Like, I don't understand how that's an issue. But what I said, I completely disagree with his statement. I think his statement's completely outrageous. But you have to see how Donald Trump must be feeling.
Mm-hmm.
He probably feels attacked, which makes sense. Like, he's being, like, all these, honestly, a lot of things that are being said about him are really mean.
Right.
Whether or not people think they are true or not,
Mm-hmm.
they are really mean, some of these things, no matter how true they might be.
Yeah.
So he feels attacked, and I believe it was Professor Bard himself mentioning, every president in the past has felt attacked, pretty much.
Right.
But
with
my
him,
point,
it's even a special case because
Yeah.
he was technically a celebrity before being
it's
president.
It's that he was a celebrity before him, but it's also the things that he says.
Oh yeah,
it's
it's completely out there.
yeah.
He has
And-
no filter.
Yeah, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing. Everyone says it could be either one, depending on the situation.
Right.
But what I said in response was, I understand that that's why I have a little bit of sympathy for him, because he probably does feel attacked, or he most likely does feel attacked. But the thing is, if you want to become president of the United States, you have to have a backbone. You have to be able to listen to people talk bad about you to your face and behind your back and behind a computer screen.
Absolutely.
And that's my problem with him. I feel like he doesn't have the backbone per se, and he
Yeah.
can't take the criticism very well.
No, definitely. And I think that that's the one thing that ties with him, why he's so vocal, is because at the end of the day, he was a celebrity. So it's different when you're coming from like going into presidency and, they're saying all these things about you, which you know what you're getting yourself into to begin with, so you know what to prepare for. But he's also one that's been in the spotlight for years. So
Which is
he's
even-
used to all this.
It's even more
Good,
reason for him
bad.
to be used to it, exactly. But the thing
Yeah.
is, if he's so used to it, why is he responding in such ways?
Yeah, I feel like because he has the whole, I don't want to say like glamour or like spotlight life, I mean, he does. That it's like, on one end, he's used to it, but on another, he's also not used to having the role that he has now.
Oh, for sure,
He's
totally
so
understandable.
used to like, the Celebrity Apprentice, where he can say whatever he wants to people and, things like that. So I don't think he's officially like came into his senses, I guess, for
Yeah.
presidency, or the responsibility, I guess, probably is the better choice of words. But then again, I don't know. I don't think he ever will because of the type of person he is. Um, Personally, I find it hilarious, and I'm sure a lot of people do. But yeah, it's something that I assume his people have to hound him on
Yeah.
about doing.
The,
Like, you gotta
like I said, there's nothing
tone
wrong
it
with,
down.
like, there's been talk about him being the most transparent president we've ever had or ever will have, most likely.
Definitely.
I understand that it could be a good thing, but it also can be a very bad thing.
No, yeah, it can go both ways. It can go both
Like,
ways.
one of the biggest arguments people have is that, personally, I like to call it the big man's complex, where, like, you say one thing that goes against him and he kind of just doesn't know how to react. He
Yeah.
kind of, like, just kind of jerks around, doesn't know what to do with himself, which, I mean, obviously you have to understand, like, anyone coming at you or saying things about you, whether it's to your face, behind your back, and behind a computer screen, is rough to deal with. We've all
No,
pretty much dealt with it
definitely.
in some way, shape, or form, so I understand that no matter how old you are, it does hurt to be spoken about in a demeaning manner.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like I said, overall, my point here is he, obviously, now that he's president, a lot of things do concern him and he is the spotlight of it, but he needs to
Definitely.
realize that there are certain places and certain times that he
We have a
can't do
friend
that.
behind us.
Um, and it's completely ridiculous that he basically says that the news is fake news, that the media needs to stop talking and everything.
Yeah.
But this is our job. Like, what if someone said, "Oh, you need to stop creating businesses. You're doing too much. Take a seat."
No, yeah, he's definitely it does. It goes both ways with I don't even know how going. It's just like his big mouth, I guess. Because me personally, I'm kind of like that. And I know from a personal factor that a lot of people get mad at me because of that. Being like my boyfriend, my cousins, my mom, where it's like it's good because like yeah, you're honest and like you're a real person, like you're real. But then it's like it can be very bad because you can say something wrong in a situation that you probably shouldn't be so open to, or say it to the wrong person, and God forbid, especially in president, like being a president, and you say something wrong, like you can literally like kill all of us.
No,
Like that can
literally,
go downhill
it
very, very
literally is a
fast.
matter of national security. If he says the wrong thing to the wrong person, we could be at our lives could be at stake.
Yeah, and
And
that
no,
was I think
that was my
everyone's
biggest concern,
nervousness.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there are issues that pertain to him and women's rights and women's equality and everything that as I've gotten older, obviously I've realized more and I've been reading more and learning more about certain things. But that was one thing that I was very nervous about when it
Yeah.
seemed like when it got closer to the end and it became more real that he would be president.
Mhm.
Um, so obviously I'm still nervous about the women's rights aspect and the woman's stance in the world, or in our country I should say, um, with him being president. But this is also another thing that I'm very nervous about. Like, if he says the
No,
wrong
yeah,
thing,
everyone
what's gonna happen
is.
to me? What's
Right.
gonna happen to my family, to my friends, to my school, to my, like, everyone? Like, what's gonna happen to us? And, like, I know that it sometimes, obviously, when you think one bad thing, your mind kind of spirals sometimes, and you think about all the worst case scenarios that there are.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a rational fear to have, especially when your president is so transparent like him.
No, definitely. That's what everyone is feeling, and especially when he was being voted in. Um, for a lot of people that were on the fence too, it was like, well, it's nerve wracking because it's like, on one end you have, I mean, we all know that they were both not great, but then it's like also everyone was nervous for what he would say and do, and mainly do because it looks like he's the type of person to just be like, I'm pissed at you and go and press a button and start World War III.
Exactly.
That's where everything gets a little sticky, and it's like I also feel like yes, people were like prepared for this, and that's why a lot of people were against Trump. But I also feel like everyone is like kind of taken back by how quickly
Yes,
he
he's
started
doing
to do things.
everyone. I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people. I'm not sure if you've noticed or like read things online, but obviously, again, like, I don't read too much into politics because it's just too much
Yeah,
of like a he
same.
said, she said. Like, whose opinion is better? Meanwhile, we all have our own. Like, it's just too much. But a lot of people have been saying that he is doing too much right away. Like, I understand you
Yeah.
want to get a lot done. We want to change a lot of things. I understand that. Like, if you feel like that's the best for our country, as long as my personal rights and my safety is still intact
Secure,
and
yeah.
I'm not at risk for anything,
Mhm.
then fine. If it doesn't involve me and I feel like it doesn't like hurt me fine, if you're gonna,
I'm the
I
same
want
way.
him to make the job situation better. I want him to improve our economy.
Right.
But the thing is, like, I forgot where I was going, to be honest.
How fast he's
Yes, there you go.
doing things.
But he's just doing too much, and my fear
Yeah.
is that by him moving so fast, he's not gonna get anything done or anything important done.
I'm honestly, even me, like I was really shocked because I don't know if it's, I don't know, like it seems like for past presidents, like they say they're gonna do things, but like it's taken time to like get
Yeah.
what they say done, if they even do it.
Yeah.
He came in and it was like, boom, we're doing this, we're doing that, and it was like, wow, that, and even
Yeah.
like to someone who like not really, but like kind of supported him, it was kind of a shock. And I think that's what everyone is kind of like, whoa, like we didn't even get a second to breathe before he was like,
Exactly.
okay, I'm
Yeah.
starting to set my own rules.
Yeah.
So I understand that. And it's caused a lot of chaos everywhere. I mean, which we all knew was going to happen. I mean, the second that he was voted in, there was protests all over. But now even more so with women's rights, with the whole immigration stuff, and
Yeah.
it's a mess. And honestly, it's like part of me feels like I'm nervous for World War III. And you know what sucks is like not even World War III with like not even with other people, other nations and countries, but honestly with us.
It's gonna be another civil war
Because
basically.
yeah, this nation is totally divided.
Yeah.
And it seems like I don't even know what's gonna happen, and it's kind of nerve-wracking. And the one thing that is his mouth, because he like just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Especially with the things going on, he's kind of just like, oh, you're protesting, okay, that's cool, you're not hurting me, basically, is how he's kind of like acting.
The one thing that I will give him was with the Women's March. I read a brief little like snippet of a statement that he said. He said that, you know, they're standing up for something that they believe in, that they feel is right. You know, good for them. Like, that's what a true American is. Basically, is what it seemed like he was getting at.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate that, because the Women's March it's something that had multiple meanings.
Yeah.
And what bothers me about that factor, and this will be one of my last little hurrahs before we leave for the night.
Hurrahs.
The Women's March obviously was taken by storm. And
yeah.
it literally consumed the country pretty much.
Definitely.
But I feel like not everyone knew the reasonings as to why they were marching. I feel like everyone just thought it was in protest of Donald Trump, which it wasn't just because of him. And doing research behind it, he had a factor, and because he is president now, I think it kind of got sped up. I think it was bound to happen eventually.
No, yeah, definitely.
But because of him being president now, and with all the concerns there are with the women's rights situation, it kind of got sped up, and it happened now.
Yeah.
But the media, ABC News especially, because this is the one video that I did see, when they were talking about it on their broadcast, they made it seem like it was just to protest Trump and
Right.
his issues with women, or his stance with women. What they marched for was women's equal rights, equal pay, and those were the two, I think, biggest points. But if you go to womensmarch.com, I believe it is, or if you just Google Women's March on Washington, the website will come up, and they will list for you all of the principles for why they walk. And honestly, I think it was a very well handled march, because it wasn't violent.
It wasn't, not at all.
At all. It was very peaceful. I mean, yeah, they did target him, especially the one in Washington, because they were in Washington, D.C. Like, obviously, he's right there. They want him to hear them. But honestly, I think they didn't get the coverage they deserved. And especially on Twitter, I will read you a tweet that I saw on my timeline that really infuriated me. And again, like I've said numerous times, I don't get involved in stuff like that. But, okay.
I wish I had known that, honestly, because of everything that was being put out there. I honestly thought that it was women against Trump.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that it was more like women's rights and things like that. Like, I knew that was a little bit of it, but I didn't know, like,
exactly,
because of everything that was posted, it was all like focused towards Trump. And like I said, like, I'm not gonna hide it, I support Trump and some of his ideas. So I wasn't gonna go out in March, because then it would just look hypocritical based on what I saw. But had I known that, I probably would have went out and did it. Like,
exactly.
I'm kind of upset. It should have gotten more coverage for what it really is, and not just like a protest against Trump.
Yeah.
Because I'm so for women power. WRCR gems, we're in here.
So my last little remark before we sign off for the night. This was actually a tweet that I responded to myself because I was just I kind of saw
I
red.
love when she responds to things. When she gets upset, it's
Oh
great.
my goodness. When I saw this, I literally sat there and I just kind of was just like, not face palm, but I was just like, the gentle, like, rests forehead on hand. I was just like, oh my
gentle
goodness.
rest forehead on
And it's
hand.
like, it's
I want a
2017 now,
Bitmoji of
people.
that. Gentle rest.
It's 2017. You have to understand that although it compared to like the 1960s or 1900 or everything up until 1960, we have a lot more rights and a lot more
100%,
equality than we
yeah.
did prior to the 1960s.
Definitely.
But men especially need to understand that we are not completely equal yet. There still things need to
We
be
are
done.
not at all.
So I'm gonna leave this man's identity.
I can already tell it's gonna be something I'm not gonna like.
I'm just gonna leave his identity secret because I don't want to. First of all, actually, I'm gonna say that afterwards. So this man tweets the original tweet. I can't find the original tweet, but it was something about women marching for equality, and he goes, or that it was like a victory for women's equality, which honestly I think it was too because we
Yeah.
got recognized.
Right.
So this man goes, "What victory? Women already have equal rights, and yes, in all capital, equal pay in this country."
I'm
What?
sorry.
Wait. He goes, "What?" And then in all capital, more do you want? Free mani-pedis? Hashtag Women's March. When I saw that,
Excuse me?
I literally saw red. But then I think my response is golden, only because I think I'm hysterical and I'm really funny. So I responded and I go, so women getting 70 to 75 cents per a man's dollar is equal pay, ... question mark. Tell me how that's equal, ... I'm waiting.
No, literally, I'm sorry. First of all, I am all for women's rights, especially obviously being a woman. Hold on.
See?
Hold
That's
on.
how I felt.
Because number one, we do not get equal pay. We do not. And you know what? It's not funny because every single guy I know makes jokes about it. And like it's just so frustrating, especially because not for nothing, but I make a lot more than my friends and my guy friends, and I work just as hard, maybe harder than most of my guy friends. And that is not free mani-pedis. Excuse me, like are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Like that's actually a joke. When literally you get your life handed to you, but you guys want to make jokes about women making you sandwiches and working in the kitchen and things like that. Please let me see you lift up a plate for once. Give me a break. I cannot stand, like honestly, like there are some men that like, you know what, that just really get me. Like, are you kidding me? A tweet like that just shows how ignorant. Like, you would not be in this world without a woman, okay?
Exactly.
First of all.
True.
So let's start off with that. That's number one. Number two is like, I just can't. I can't. I literally hate ignorant men and guys who think that they're inferior to women because of whatever it is. Like, are you happy because of the Women's March? Yeah. It's finally time that women
ecstatic.
stand up and you know what? And we take what's rightfully ours.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating. You know, we go through so much. You guys don't understand. Like, I would love for guys, honestly, like not for nothing, but to get like one menstrual cycle.
Ooh,
and
deal
have
with
to
that
do-
and tell us how you
Have
feel.
to like go through a full day of work, school, internships, whatever it is, anything with that. And all the problems that we get aside, like you don't understand, like guys just don't understand, and they want to make stupid, ignorant comments like, "Oh, free mani-pedis." Excuse me. How about you pay for my mani-pedi with the extra whatever amount that you make? What is it, 75 cents to $1? Yeah, you should be paying for my mani-pedis. Actually, how about that?
How
Catch
about
me
that?
outside. How about that?
But yeah, so before I sign off for the night, or we sign off for the night, I'm just gonna mention that I'm not sure at what time, but I went back later on to check on that tweet. He deleted it.
You have the screenshot?
Oh,
You should
I
post
have
it-
the receipt.
You should
I have
post
the
it on
receipts.
blast and put him on blast because I can't stand men like that. Like it just bothers me and irks me because like it must be so nice to be a man in America and get everything you want handed to you. I'm like I can't. I can't. You know what? Watch. I cannot wait till the day that I'm famous. I'm gonna put everyone on blast because you know what? It's just so frustrating. It's just so frustrating that some men are so ignorant to actually believe that we are equal. Like, unfortunately, no, we're not. And they want to put tweets like that and be sarcastic as to like, oh, women get free mani-pedis. What more do you want? Like, are you kidding me? You have no idea how hard we work, okay, to get to even close to where you guys are. And then we still don't get not even like half of the recognition that men get. It's just not fair and it's ridiculous. And you know what? We need a women's march every single day
I'm
until
down.
we have equal rights, actual equal rights. And that does not count free mani pedis, okay? Like, oh, I just can't.
Well,
When I'm famous, watch out. Watch out, ABC, E News, Entertainment Tonight. Just watch out because your girl's coming and she's coming with fire.
oh, okay. Well, on that note,
Yeah.
we're gonna say goodnight. Everyone have a lovely rest of their evening. So be nice to everyone. Understand. Don't speak before you think. So there you go. Have a good night, guys.